Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ajulam here. Thank you so much for coming around, and for my returning subscribers, you all are too much. And if this is your first time of coming across my channel, kindly subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you get to know anytime I put up a new video. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to show you the best and easiest way of making an African print peplum top for a baby girl. So if you're interested, keep on watching. See, I have a leftover fabric. This is not up to 1 yard, so I'll be using this. Okay, so I'll start by drafting out the upper part. So for this top, I'm going to make the length, or like the length to be 14 inches. So now remember, the bodice length for 3 years old, I'll be using a 3 years old measurement for this, is the bodice length is 9 inches. So I'm going to mark out 10 inches. Remember, 1 inch is for seam allowance, so this is 10 inches here. So I'm going to mark that out and then connect to a straight line. Okay, actually this top you can make it in less than 15 minutes once you have all the things you need. It's very easy and simple to make. So for the shoulder is 9 inches. Half of that is 4.5. So this is 4.5. For the shoulder slope, I'm going to make it, this is half, that is for the shoulder slope. Then for the neck width, I'll be making it 2.5, which is here. The neck depth, I'll make it 2.25, which is here. Okay, so I'm just going to connect this, and then I'll connect this point to this point. You should be familiar with this by now. I'm repeating this for the ones that are just coming across for the first time. So the armhole, remember I said, is most of the time is the shoulder divided by 2. Like now, this shoulder is 4.5. So since I have half already here, I'll mark out the remaining 4 inches here. Okay, and then I will insert the shoulder measurement as well, and I will connect to a straight line. So this is the chest line now. Okay, so now the next thing is to determine the midpoint. The midpoint here, that is for the armhole, is 2 inches. So I'm going to go in by 3/4 inch, which is that point. So for the chest measurement is 22 inches. Half of that is 5.5. I will use the same measurement for the waist, which is 5.5. I'm going to connect that to a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to add my 1 inch for seam allowance. That one is for the chest, while this is for the waist. So I'll connect. Okay, so here now I'm going to use my French curve, or you can also use your free hand to connect. So after connecting it now, I will just quickly cut. Then I will show you how to cut this on your main fabric. So this is it. I'm going to cut this out. Front after cutting it out. Now to cut the back, I'll be using this pattern paper. This is just one. When you're making yours, just fold it to avoid confusion. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out the bodice length. Remember, for the front I used 10 inches, so I'm going to mark that out as well. So this is 10 inches. I'll mark it to a straight line, and then I'll mark out my 1 inch for zipper allowance. Okay, so let me just mark this. So now this is my 1 inch for my zipper. Then I'll connect, and then I'm going to repeat what I did on the front. But if you don't want to repeat, you can easily carry the front pattern and place it over like this on the back side. Okay, but while I will not be doing this, there is a little adjustment that I will need to do for the back, so I have to do it all over. So this is 4.5, which is half of the shoulder measurement. Okay, so this is 1/2 inch, which is the shoulder slope. Remember, I used 2.5 for the neck width. Now for the back neck depth, I'm going to use just 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is 1/2 inch here, so I'll connect it. But if you want yours to be down, you can decide how you want the back side to be. So this is the shoulder slope. I will insert the armhole. Okay, and then I'll also insert the half of the shoulder measurement. Then I'll connect. I'm a little fast because I've already done this on the front. Okay, so this is the midpoint and 3/4. So here I used 5.5, which is 22 divided by 4. Then this is my 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'm going to insert the same thing here, 6.5. Then I'll connect to a straight line. Okay, so another adjustment is here now on the waist area, that is for the back. I will go up by 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to use this to just connect it back to that point there with a slight curve. Okay, so this is how easy it is to draft out the back pattern. So let me just cut this out and I will show you how to cut the peplum, which is the main purpose for today's tutorial. The peplum itself, this is what I'll be using. So at the end of the day, you can see that I only used 1/2 yard of an African print for this top. That is if you're making for a 3-year-old baby girl. So this is what is remaining. So I folded like this into 4. As you can see, this end is closed and this other end is also closed. So now I'm going to take it from this point and fold over like this. Okay, and I will also fold it over again like this. Then I will now give it a good press. So for those of us interested in the beginner class, it's going to start on the 25th of this month. So if you're interested, kindly check the description box for more details on that. So I'm going to give this a good press before we continue. So this is it after giving it a good press. So now the waist is 22 inches. 22 divided by 6.28 will give me 3.5. Okay, but I'll not, since I folded it over again, I'll be marking out 3 inches first, because if you mark the 3.5, you will end up having excess. So I will start by marking out 3 inches. Okay, so this is 3 inches there. So I'm going to cut. I'll cut it out first. After that, I'll now check the waist if it's complete before I will now cut out the length. Remember, the length now will be 5 inches. Okay, so now this is it. I'm going to open it up like this to check if the waist is complete. Okay, so this is 22 on the dot, as you can see. So what I'll do now is to add it a little inches, which is what I'll be using for the seam. Okay, so I'll just very little. Okay, this is very okay. So now I'm going to mark out the length of the peplum, which is 5 inches, but we're making it 6 inches because of seam allowance. So this is 6 inches here. Okay, this is 6. So now I'm going to cut. After cutting it out, so I'm going to open it up now, and you can decide any area to use to open it. So I'm going to open it by the side like this. Okay, and here you have your peplum, very easy to cut. So I'm going to use my hair stay on this, and then I'll cut out the lining also like this. After that, I'll now start the sewing. So guys, this is it. As you can see, I just added the hair stay on it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out the lining. That is for this peplum. I'm going to cut out the lining. After cutting out the lining, I'm going to take the front to face this other front. Then I'm going to sew this part first and give it a good press. As you can see, I just sew the lining and this together like this, and then I gave it notches here and there. Then I top stitch, and this is how it looks. Now I'm going to fold it together like this and give the center a notch, because that is where I'll be joining it from. So I'll give a notch here. Then I will take the upper part now and close up the shoulder first. Okay, and I'll repeat the same on the lining. So I'm going to close the shoulder, and I'll do the same on the lining. So this is it. After joining the shoulder, I did the same on the lining. So I'm going to turn it over. This is the front side. So I'm going to take the lining and also place it over like this, making sure the front is facing each other. Okay, then I'm going to sew the neckline and the armhole. After that, I'll just turn it up and close the sides together. So this is it. What I'll do now is to close the sides, and then I'll join the peplum and show you the final look of the top. So guys, this is the final look of the dress. All I have to do now is to close up the back and add my zipper allowance. As you can see, you can make this top in less than 15 minutes. So guys, that is it for today. Please subscribe if you have not, and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so that you get to know anytime I post a new video. So guys, see you soon.